There you go.
Good evening. I'd like to call the special meeting of the Dare County Board of Education to order. Today is Monday, February 13th, 2023, and we're meeting the Dare County Administration Building in Manteo, and the time is now 4:30. Before we begin, I'd like to request a motion to approve the agenda. Is there a second? Excuse me, is there to approve the
I move
motion?
we approve the agenda.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and seconded to approve this. Any discussion? Hearing none, I call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Before we begin, I'd like to read an announcement. On September 20th, 2022, a petition for a contested case hearing was filed in the Office of Administrative Hearings on behalf of Dare County Schools. Student GL by his mother, LL, and his father, JL, on Monday, January 10th, 2023. The Dare County Board of Education approved the settlement agreement in this matter that was fully executed on January the 11th, 2023. The anticipated cost of the settlement agreement is approximately $11,000, including attorney's fees and costs related to the student. Next, I'd like to request a motion to go into closed session.
I move we go into closed session to discuss confidential personnel and student relate
You have to read the whole thing.
student.
Read the whole thing. Sorry.
You have to read the whole thing.
You need to take a look. You also
You should.
You have to be Margaret. Sorry.
See, this has been Margaret's job for 16 years now. It's yours.
I move we go to closed session to consult with the Board of Education attorney in closed session in order to preserve the client attorney privilege, and as provided by N.C.G.S. 143-138.11A3 to consider confidential personnel matters as provided in N.C.G.S. 143-138.311A6 and to consider confidential student matters as provided in N.C.G.S. 143-138.11A1 and the Family Education Rights and Privilege Act.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. We are now in closed session.
It's off now.
I'd like to request a motion to return to open session.
Mr. Chairman, I move we return to open session.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion to go return to open session. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. We are now in open session.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion, we close this meeting.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Meeting adjourned.
Regular scheduled meeting will start at 5.
Regular scheduled meeting will start at 5.
Or five.
Good evening. I'd like to call the February 13th, 2023 meeting of the Dare County Board of Education to order. We're meeting at the Dare Administration Building in Manteo, and the time is now 5 p.m. Before we begin, I'd like to request a moment of silence. Thank you. Before we begin, I'd like to moment of silence, I'm sorry. Next, I'd like to recognize the following Board of Commissioners that are present this evening. Mr. Rob Ross, thank you again for being here. Appreciate your support. Thank you so much. I'll now turn the meeting over to Mr. Woody to provide the welcome and to lead the Pledge of Allegiance.
Hey, how you guys doing today? I want to thank everybody for showing up here and those that are watching online. It's hard to believe we got less than 4 months before graduation. Time flies. Let's go ahead and stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Woody. Our first order of business this evening is to approve the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, I call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. All in favor of announcements? I'm sorry. That's right. Announcements. Our first announcements will come from Mr. Blackstock.
Mr. Chairman and members of the board, I'd like to make a quick announcement that Mr. Bassnight was elected last Thursday to serve on the board of the North Carolina Association of Supervision and Curriculum Development. In addition to informing the board, I'd like to congratulate Mr. Bassnight on this accomplishment and for being willing to serve this organization that's focused on teaching and learning. Congratulations, Mr. Bassnight.
Now turn the meeting over to Mr. Bassnight.
Okay, you don't surprise me with things, okay? I'm not good at surprises. To start our announcements tonight, we are pleased to announce that the transition of the DLI, the Dual Language Immersion Program, will be moving into our middle schools. Please allow me to recognize Mr. Jake Henry, one of our partners from Participate Learning, to say a few things about DLI and the transition. Mr. Henry? I believe we've got a PowerPoint.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. I should start by telling you that I've been a dual language principal, a district level administrator that oversaw dual language programs, but most importantly, I'm the father of 2 sons who have been through dual language programs. One is a sophomore in college and one is a sophomore in high school. So I certainly see this issue through multiple perspectives. There's none that's more important than the parent perspective, of course, when your child is going through that program. And both are bilingual today, thanks to the program that they went through. What we're talking about this evening, though, is the middle school option and what to do in middle school with dual language programming. And to provide a little bit of context, so to help you understand the level of experience that we have in working with programs across the state, if you can go to the next slide, please. We do work with over 100 elementary schools in 37 different counties in both North Carolina and Virginia. And so as those programs matriculate slowly into middle school, currently we have 14 different counties that are offering a middle school option for dual language. 26 of them offer what we call Conexiones, which is a middle school elective course for dual language students. And I'll go into a little more detail about that in a moment. The reason that's important is because when we think of middle school, we think of middle school as the bridge years. So kindergarten through 5th grade, you either have the 50-50 or the full immersion experience where you're building all of that body of content and understanding of Spanish. Middle school becomes the bridge years where you're trying to maintain and accelerate that Spanish acquisition, that Spanish level, until you can get to the higher advanced classes in high school. The reason that's important is because middle school is also the most challenging time for dual language in terms of scheduling. There's just a lot of constraints at the middle school level. Master schedule, elective blocks, licensure for teachers. It's much more difficult than it is at the elementary level. And at high school, it's much easier for certification and courses because it fits within the main master schedule. So what we've developed over the years is this option in middle school where students take an elective course, Conexiones, and in that course, it focuses on a couple of different things. One is Spanish language development. You need to continue fostering the growth of Spanish, particularly those grammatical skills. But the other thing that it does is it provides opportunities for students to implement and use the language in real world settings, project-based learning. This is a class taught by a teacher in the classroom where students are interacting with each other in Spanish, not just learning Spanish, but applying it in these projects. So if you'll go to the next slide, what we've learned over the years is that the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction sets standards by which dual language students' proficiency levels that they should meet at each level, all the way from elementary, 8th grade, and then on into high school to achieve that seal of biliteracy. What we found is students in these dual language programs that take this one elective course in the middle school because of its rigor, by the time they get to 8th grade, they've accelerated to those 8th grade standards. They're meeting them by the time they end 5th grade, and they accelerate to the 8th grade standards that DPI has set for proficiency levels that dual language students should be at. These are different proficiency levels than what a student who takes traditional Spanish 1 should be at. In addition to that, they earn high school credit by taking the course. So the course is sufficient for continuing to grow students' language level, even if it's just one elective period a day. And we've seen that in the 26 different schools that are implementing. And so there is an assessment that we do provide at the end of 8th grade that will demonstrate that. A little bit about the course, if you'll go to the next slide, just so you can see a little bit of what the students will do. The next slide, please. There's the grammar instruction. These are assignments that students can do both in writing in the classroom or through online material that we provide that the teacher uses in the classroom. Next slide, please. Virtual exchanges are very important. We want to connect kids with kids around the world who speak Spanish as their first language. So as a part of our support and our network of schools around the world that are connecting with us, we provide these virtual exchanges where kids can talk to students their age in different countries. And the final slide. Projects. We want kids to be learning about the cultures and then being able to talk about them in Spanish and be able to present on them and write on them in Spanish. So it's a great course, lots of rigor, and we do believe it's a great option for Dare County schools. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
I'm glad to see that we've found a path to this because this wasn't, it wasn't a path so clear 10 months ago. So thank you for your work on this, getting this on board and on track. And thank you for coming to explain it all to us.
Yes, ma'am.
Appreciate it.
Any other board members? Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jake. I do want to address some of the questions and concerns that have been brought to our attention, just so that everyone knows the answers to those directly from us. There are currently no plans or discussions to do away with dual language immersion in Dare County or weaken it in any way. We will base our future decisions on this program on real student performance data. That data that we currently have from DLI is from the first 2 years of the program, which would be kindergarten and first grade, and then 2 years of school closures and the pandemic, which would be second and third grade. And then the last 2 years, fourth and fifth grade, would be the 2 years coming out of the pandemic. That data would only be slightly valid and should show improvement at the very least over the last 2 years. We have not had any board members who have spoken to me about doing away with the DLI program. There have not been any discussions by the Board of Education regarding doing away with the program. We have utilized all the information that we have been able to gather concerning any plans that were made previously, but have leaned heavily on our partners from Participate Learning for their input and recommendations and approval of our plans. Our DLI Students Immersion course will meet every day, year-long, in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grades. And initially, this posed a challenge for us. If students enroll in the DLI course and the required year-long physical education course in middle school, they would not have the opportunity to take band, chorus, art, or any career and technical education course while in middle school. 2 of our middle schools already had a third period that was potentially able to accommodate PE, DLI, and a third class option. By pulling approximately 12 minutes from each of the other classes, our third middle school, the staff of our third middle school was able to recreate an additional class period, which will afford all of our middle school students additional course options. We're not trying to limit our course options in middle school. We're trying to increase those course options. Conexiones is not an online program for students. This course will be taught by a native Spanish-speaking instructor face-to-face and will use the Conexiones curriculum that has been recommended by our Participate Learning partners for DLI in middle school. According to Participate, it is used by them across both North Carolina and Virginia. Conexiones is a curriculum, not an online program. Students will not be seated in front of a computer taking an online course. There are resources available on the Conexiones website, and those resources are for strengthening the instructor's understanding of the curriculum, not for instructing students. Students will receive 2 high school credits in world languages after completing the 6th, 7th, and 8th grades. Students will be eligible to become a certified translator upon completion of the program after high school, but this certification will require an additional test. Participate Learning has been heavily involved in our planning, curriculum, instruction, and instructors for DLI. Participate Learning works with 14 school districts in North Carolina and Virginia who have programs that have grown into the middle school level. In those 14 counties, 31 schools are implementing Conexiones, middle schools. 26 of those 31 middle schools are implementing Conexiones only during their elective block for a period of approximately 40 to 45 minutes. They are in agreement with all of our plans for transitioning into middle school. We have also requested that Participate Learning become more involved in Dare County's DLI program than they have ever been in the past. Any questions from the board?
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you very
Steve.
much.
Thank you. Next, we'll move to public comment and turn the meeting over to our board attorney, Ms. Rachel Hitch.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As we usually indicate, I'll just read a short statement about public comment. The Dare County Board of Education welcomes the opportunity to hear from the public during the regularly scheduled meetings. The public comment period is open for members of the public, including parents and students, to voice complaints, concerns, or complaints about performance of school issues, implementation of board policy, quality of education program, or school facilities. According to our policy, presentations are limited to a maximum of 3 minutes. Obscene, vulgar, or profane statements, personal attacks, and insults and statements that are disruptive to the orderly operation of the meeting will not be permitted. But I have not had any of those since I've been here, so I'm sure that we're going to keep it clean. Let's go ahead and I'll call the first person is Miss Wendy Simpson, please. And if you'll just give me a heads up, Miss Wendy, I will start the 3-minute timer for you. Okay. You ready to go? All right.
Thank you. I'm a grandparent at Kitty Hawk Elementary, and nobody wants to stand here and have concerns about their granddaughter, their child's school. I have spoke with the principal a couple times, Mr. Bass Knight. We spoke in person. Spoke with my PTA, called in the central office. And as of now, there's still no resolution in some of the issues that are concerning. One, parents are not allowed to walk their child's class in the mornings before school. The teachers have permission to allow or not to allow individual parents into their classroom. This is inside of our school. The inequity there is questionable because we have one parent who is allowed into their child's classroom right next to another child's classroom whose teacher decides that she doesn't want parents. She doesn't want them involved. She doesn't want them to participate in any activities. And there are some parents who have not been in their child's classroom since returning to COVID for any reason. I am not sure why. We at Kitty Hawk do not have a school improvement team, which would really come in handy for us because of these issues, where to go, who can help us, the questions that we have as parents. And I would like to ask this board to please consider a committee that can answer these questions. Our parents can come in as of December 2nd to have lunch, but we're segregated away from the rest of the children in the class. The answers that I have gotten to questions are very contradictory. And I think that having a committee to answer some of these questions would help us. The principal has addressed the PTA that she is not to discuss safety in their meetings. I'm not sure that she has the authorization to do that because we all have concerns. What is our next step? How do we feel about metal detectors? I think that we should be able to be surveyed and telling those things. This is not against our teachers or our school. This is for our children. This is for equality inside of our little school. Not, I don't know what's going on in the rest of the schools. I can only speak what is my experience. Moving forward, I would like this to be as a way to raise the conversation in these.
Ms. Simpson, your
with these
3
tips.
minutes are up.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Simpson. Our next public commenter is Ms. Leah Dixon. Just give me a nod, Ms. Dixon, when you're ready to get started.
Sorry, cold. I'm ready. I've been a teacher for over 20 years in North Carolina. I've seen education fads come and go. The AVID program and the Spanish dual language immersion program are the most beneficial programs I've ever been involved in. However, as with any program, they will only be successful if leaders believe in them, go to work for them, fight for them, and are committed to learning what is needed to make them successful. I want to implore you to truly commit to the Spanish GLO program through middle and high school by giving students a core class that is truly immersed in Spanish. Dare County schools are over 26% Hispanic and growing. Right now, around 15% of Dare County students are in the DLF program. If we continue the program through high school with fidelity, not a 45-minute-a-day class, but true immersion through core classes, by the time fifth graders or seniors, almost half of Dare County students will be on their way to fluency. Imagine how marketable our students will be when they graduate with a translator certificate, exactly what was promised when the journey began. But they will never get there with only 45 minutes a day. Mr. Bassnight, if you want to make Dare County not just #1 in the state, but #1 in the region or county, let's do it better. I'm with you, ready to work and inspired by our goal. So please don't just barely keep the program with 45 minutes. Let's commit to it. Let's do better. With your proposed plan, DLS students will go from 90% or 50% of their instruction taught in Spanish to only 9% of instruction in Spanish. Even with a core class, it will still only come to 27% of their instruction. This is an immersion, and it's not implementation of a program we want to see succeed. How can you gather data from 45 minutes, especially when they're behind because of COVID? If we are hiring a DLI teacher for 90 minutes a day at First Flight Middle School, who will then travel to Medium Middle School for another 90 minutes, that's still 4 extra hours a day. Couldn't that teacher also teach a 60-minute social studies Spanish DLI class at both schools? It would still leave 2 hours for that teacher to travel and have the 60-minute state mandated planning period. Under the funding agreement between Board of Commissioners and N.C.G.S, amounts over $1 million in the school's fund balance are to be returned to Dare County. Last year, we had over $2.6 million. When invested, just the return on $1 million can pay for enough teachers to run the middle school program for 3 years. Additionally, these teachers can teach English and Spanish, so they can teach our non-DLS students as well. This will add some much-needed diversity to our school system and will lower class sizes. At the 5-on-5 meeting, it was made clear there are 2 ways to get what's needed in Dare County schools. Rearrange with creative shuffling, which should always be done first. And 2, ask for more money from the county commissioners. If schools cannot find more than 45 minutes of time a day, I implore you to ask for more money to support this program benefiting the school system, our parents, students, and our growing
Ms. Dixon,
diverse community.
That's your 3 minutes.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am, very much for your comments. Our next commenter is Jessica Ferns, F-E-A-R-N-S, just in case I'm saying that wrong. Okay. Are you ready, Ms.
I'm
Ferns?
ready. I received Mr. Bassnight's email last week addressing many concerns that DLI parents had regarding the DLI program, and I want to thank you for providing us with some answers. I would also like to note that it should be no surprise to anyone on the board or in central office that current fifth grade DLI students are entering middle school next year and a plan for them would be needed. The fact that it is mid-February and we are just now being privy to a plan is frustrating. Rumors have soared and hearsay has been nonstop. Lots of this could have been avoided simply by being more communicative. I believe that most parents feel a 45-minute Spanish class is just not enough immersion. The definition of immersion is deep mental involvement, a method of teaching a foreign language by the exclusive use of that language. Students entering sixth grade next year will enter with a strong Spanish background. Most of them will be fluently reading, writing, and speaking Spanish. When they began the program, they were promised some things, many of which were addressed in the email, but one major key point, a core class in Spanish, was left out. I am here to ask you for a core class. Get creative and make it work. Our board of commissioners stated that if there are things that Dare County School Systems needs funded, ask for it. Get creative about moving staff around. Get creative and ask our tourism board for the money. Let's make it work. Invest in the future of our students. We make so many other things work in our county for way less of a percentage of our population. DLI currently makes up 13% of our student body, and if the program is continued properly, that number will rise to nearly 30% in the next 3 years. I attended last month's 515 meeting, and based on public statements made in that meeting, our county leadership expects and is demanding our schools' performances improve. Our county leadership wants to increase educational opportunities here in Dare County. Continuing the dual language immersion would support these goals. We know that the program is not even close to the most expensive program in our district. We know that the roadmap was left to continue this program. We know that it's been recommended to have open forums with parents and surveys sent out. How can we be making decisions for next year when we don't even know how many people want to be in the program next year? Why continue to invest in DLI at K through 5 if we're not willing to invest in a core class bilingual teacher in the middle school level? We need to honor the commitment that were made to the students in the program and offer them a core class alongside the Conexiones Spanish class. Let's give them the immersion experience that was promised. And while I have 15 seconds, it's really hard to get here at 4:45 coming from the northern beaches if you work in the schools, nearly impossible. So it'd be really awesome if we could have some sort of way to sign up for public comment
Ms.
via
Ferns,
the internet,
that's
so
into your
that
3
when you get
minutes.
here at 5, you could just be on.
Thank
the
you, Ms.
floor.
Ferns.
Thank you.
Our next public commenter is Molly Goldberg. Are you ready, Molly?
Hola a todos, mi nombre es Molly Goldberg y soy un estudiante de tercer grado en el programa de inmersión de español en la escuela Kitty Hawk. Hi, my name is Molly Goldberg and I'm a third grader in the dual language immersion program at Kitty Hawk Elementary School. Me encanta el programa de español porque estoy aprendiendo a hablar español con fluidez. Espero algún día poder viajar alrededor del mundo y hablar con otros tanto en español como en inglés. Ser bilingüe puede ayudarme a ayudar a los demás y también a conseguir trabajo cuando sea mayor. Hemos trabajado muy duro en este programa y estamos aprendiendo mucho, pero necesitamos que este programa continúe más allá de la escuela primaria. I love the dual language Spanish program because I am learning to become fluent in Spanish. I hope to one day be able to travel around the world and speak to others in both Spanish and English. Being bilingual can help me to help others and also help me get jobs when I'm older. We have worked so hard in this program and are learning so much, but we need this program to continue beyond elementary school. Aprendemos mucho más que el idioma español en la escuela. El programa de inmersión me inspira a aprender más sobre nuestro mundo y cómo podemos trabajar todos juntos. Espero que continúen apoyando este importante programa para que mis amigos y yo podamos realmente ser bilingües. Ahora solo tengo 9 años. Imagínense la confianza que tendré cuando tenga 13 o 18 años y puede hablarles en español. We learn so much more than just the Spanish language in school. The dual language immersion program inspires me to learn more about our world and how we can all work together. I hope you will continue to support this important program so that me and my friends can truly become bilingual. I am only 9 years old now. Imagine how confident I will be when I'm 13 or 18 and can speak to you in Spanish. Gracias por darnos esta increíble oportunidad en nuestra escuela. Thank you for giving us this awesome opportunity at our school.
Good job, Molly. Thank you. That concludes the public comment, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Hitch. We'll now move to reports and items for information, and Mr. Bass Knight.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do want to thank everyone for speaking to public comment. That it matters, and I heard you. So thank you very much. And I don't know what it's going to be like if you get more confident. That was wonderful. Thank you. First item under reports is the donation to Cape Hatteras Secondary School Athletic Program. On December 23rd, 2022, a lifelong resident and Cape Hatteras Secondary alumni, Stephen Hickman, passed away peacefully in his home. While in school at Cape Hatteras, Stephen was an influential student athlete who spent many hours participating in soccer, baseball, and basketball. After graduating from UNC Chapel Hill, Stephen became a sheriff's officer in Dare County, but always found time to attend the home games at Cape Hatteras. Among the contributions, Douglas Sowers made a $5,000 charitable donation in the memory of Stephen Hickman. Stephen's daughter is a current student athlete at Cape Hatteras Secondary, and the family felt that it would be appropriate for donations to be made to Cape Hatteras Secondary School in place of flowers. This gift will be placed toward upgrades in the Cape Hatteras Secondary School soccer concession stand. Thank you. Our next item for reports will be to recognize Dr. Jack Bagwell, president of the College of the Albemarle, and Dean Tim Sweeney, who is our local dean at the College of the Albemarle Dare.
Good evening. Thank you for having us. We're so excited to be here tonight. And I understood one word of the young lady's speech. I got ocho. But other than that, and I had college Spanish. So not sure what that says about my time as a student. But thank you for being here. We're going to go over a couple of things. We have a presentation for you. Again, I'm Jack Bagwell. I'm the president of COA. And most of you know Tim Sweeney, who's the dean of our COA Dare campus. So as we pull up the presentation, I want to talk a little bit about the college. You all know the new building and the campus, and we are so proud to have that and so appreciative of the Board of Commissioners for making that possible. Next slide. We want to remind you all, I know that this probably gets lost sometimes, but we are one of 58 colleges in the North Carolina community college system. North Carolina has the third largest community college system in the nation, and we would argue one of the strongest. Next slide, if you would, please. So if you remember, COA serves 7 counties. We have 4 campuses. This is just one of our campuses, but we try to make sure that we provide opportunities across the platform that is COA. And we use the naming technique, COA Currituck, COA Dare, COA Edenton Chuan, and then our parent campus, the home office, if you will, is at COA Elizabeth City. Next slide, please. Just a couple of notes about the college. We were invited to submit an application for the Aspen Prize this year. That is the Academy Award of Community Colleges. Only 150 colleges in the nation are invited to participate. We were one of those colleges this year. We did not win the $1 million prize, or you would have heard me screaming earlier in the year. But we did have that opportunity. We do get recognized quite regularly as one of the top community colleges in the nation by several measures. We regularly have the #1 nursing program in North Carolina that includes UNC, Chapel Hill, Duke, et cetera. Now, there are a bunch of ways to measure things, but we provide a wonderful learning opportunity where graduates come out, make incredible salaries after a couple of years of learning here at COA Dare. So we're very proud of the work that we're doing. Next slide, please. Tim Sweeney is going to talk a little bit about what we do on this campus. Then I'm going to come back and talk about what we're doing at the state level with respect to career and technical education, which is really why we're here to discuss what we're here to discuss tonight. So, Tim.
Thank you, Dr. Bagwell. Chairman Payne, board members, it's great to be back. And Superintendent Bassnight, welcome home. Glad to have you. Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about the campus. We've really grown, not just with a new building, but with different programs. I was talking to the Outer Banks Builders Association, and they said, Tim, you finally got the Holy Trinity. I'm Catholic from New York City, Catholic school, came down here to Virginia. I thought, name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, what was he talking about? He was talking about the HVAC program, electrical, and plumbing. We now have all three on our campus, along with the welding, with the career and technical programs. They're pretty much our featured programs up there, and you can see certified nursing, what Dr. Bagwell just talked about. Continuing education, we have the forklift, pool and spa, and you can see that. Marine diesels over in Mans Harbor. It's a class that we've had in effect now about 5 years, and it's always has a waiting list. So we're really providing that service to the boating industry here. Next slide, please. Welding technology, you can see it's a little bit hard to read, but that's a quote by Jed Dixon over there. We partnered with Jed and the Ferry Division about 6-7 years ago to do apprenticeships for our students, paid apprenticeships. As soon as we did the paid apprenticeships, our welding enrollment just doubled and tripled. We now have three times we offer the class, morning, afternoon, and night. And those students that are 18 years of over have the apprenticeship, a paid apprenticeship. Now, you talk about the dual enroll students, our high school students. They cannot participate in the dual enrollment because of the age requirement. But once they graduate, they go right into that apprenticeship. They get paid. It also gives them another year's experience. The Department of Transportation, we're trying to get a change. You have to have 3 years welding experience to be hired by the Ferry Division. So who gets our students? Hampton Roads, all of the Newport News and the Gulf of Mexico. That's where our kids possibly are going. So we're helping to change that. 2 years of welding classes, 1 year apprenticeship, boom, they can be hired right away and stay right here in our hometown. Next. This is a video. I think we have time, Dr. Bagwell. This really tells it all. If you could play the video.
It's been a great partnership. We're so thankful to have these students on board. We currently have 4 welders that are students at the school who are working every day at our facility here in Mans Harbor. Welding is a trade that is a very high demand trade, and we're always struggle to find the skilled talent. And the school has been able to provide a very good link for us to that talent here.
With this partnership set up as like an intern apprenticeship, they can go in and work whatever hours they're not in school. It could be, they could work 4 hours a week, or they could work 20 hours a week. It has given them a real life scenario, welding, training that they're actually welding the beams in all kinds of different positions. They're dealing with different types of configurations of joints. And this is training them, and it just makes them more valuable for them to go and pursue their career, because welding is not just a job, it's a career.
The Ferry Division works on all the ships throughout North Carolina, and they come in and they'll get their services. If they need fixing in the hull, they'll do that. If they need engine work, they do that. You paint, all that stuff. It helps us a lot because it pays us to do it, so we can put that money back into our education, and it gives us real life experience so that big time employers would like Newport News or other bigger shipyards of that nature.
The welding program here is offering me great experience. They tell us who we're shadowing and what we're doing, and then they set us up and they watch us as we assist. We've gotten to weld on things out there, and of course the foreman will come around and look at everybody's work and speak to each of us separately.
We work when we don't have classes. So, for example, in the summer is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then we go over there, work full days, Thursday and Friday. I like the hands-on part, but I like putting things together and seeing them come together.
American Welding Society still says there's over 400,000 welding jobs open in the United States at this time. And we get emails from the Tidewater area that there's over 17,000. And naturally, we can't create one overnight. It does take time and training. If you're interested in welding, if you're a high school student, check into with your guidance counselor. They have dual enrollment programs we have here. You gain college credit at the same time that you gain your high school credit. We'd love to have you come by and check out some of our open houses.
We're hoping to take this partnership and grow it. The school is in our own backyard here, and it gives us a lot of opportunity to seek the skilled talent that we really need. Our shipyard is a great job for these students here. It provides them long-term employment, and we really hope to be able to leverage some of their talent and turn it into something a little more long-term.
If you noticed, the dual enrolled students there from First Flight and Manteo High School, we're so proud of those students. And the young lady was a Army veteran, and she came back to take welding, and she's now working as matter of fact, she was the #1 student. They said that women do it better than the men, so I don't know about that. The next slide, please. That's me up there on the forklift. I do teach forklifting. No, I'm teasing you all. I don't teach forklifting. We have forklifting. And what we did this past year, we take forklifting training right to the companies here. We did it over there for Kempsville building, and we also did for Manteo Furniture when they moved into the new facility. So we have that. Next. We're going to skip this slide. This is another video. Board members, we'll give you this video. This is about HVAC to save time. This here talks about the rest of our campuses that Dr. Bagwell talked about. We have the DARE guarantee, as you all know, that our high school students and our citizens can go to school at COA for absolutely free. Tuition paid for, laptop, and books. But some people think it's just for our campus. Not only for our campus, so if a student wants to take agricultural business, we have that on our campuses in Chowan. Also, we have classes over in the Currituck building facility with aviation. We have also, we just put in there the BLET and public safety programs that are there for EMT, for curriculum. If you move over again back to Chowan, you have culinary over there. I'm probably going to miss some here, but all of our programs here are eligible for all of our DARE students, and the DARE guarantee covers that. So I want to really be clear with that. Next. Again, just some of the featured programs we just talked about. Dual enrollment for the students. They can take hospitality leadership while they're a junior or senior in high school if they want to get that certification. As a dean, what I really try to tell students is that as electives, you're talking about electives here for middle school children, but you can take an elective as a high school student and get a certification in HVAC, or you can get a certification in hospitality leadership while you still continue to get your high school diploma and also getting your associate's degree. We have a 2-year program now at HVAC, so you can start it as your junior and senior year. So this year's class, they're finishing up the seniors, but the juniors, we need to look at the 11th graders right now to sign up, but also our 10th graders to sign up for next year so they get the 2-year program here. So that class HVAC really expanded the last 5 years. Electrical, they can take that in dual enrollment, and we just put in plumbing. the Holy Trinity's here. So next. The handout that I gave you is about the DARE guarantee. And I wanted to let the board know that what we're having with our students is that they have to do a FAFSA form before they're eligible to apply for the DARE guarantee. And we're finding that piece there, Steve, is really just delaying students with families. And we're committed to helping our students by doing financial workshops, bringing our financial workshop team into the high schools or having the workshops at the college. We'll do whatever we can. I recommend that, all the students, fill it out. That way they're automatically eligible for the DARE guarantee. So whether or not they use that later on after they graduate, they have that FAFSA form in place. So that really goes over the criteria. I won't go over it in detail, but if you can help us get that word out, I think it would really get more families to be able to just sign that one sheet of paper application. The other hand, on workforce development, you don't need the FAFSA. So if they're going into electrical or plumbing, it's a one-page application that they have to sign, and they're eligible for the DARE guarantee and go to, let's say, marine diesel's a $400 class plus books, totally free, one application, no FAFSA. But if they're going to go into the curriculum part, we need that, okay? Next, please. This is our students. This is the last, I promised the last video, and then Dr. Bagwell's going to take over. If you could play that video, this is about the DARE guarantee and some of your students.
My name is Andrew. I'm in my second year at COA. I started taking COA classes in high school. I finished all of my general education classes, and I heard about COA and the DARE guarantee from my guidance counselor.
Hi, my name is Jessica Canning. I am a sophomore at College of the Albemarle, and I am working to get my associate's degree in general education.
I chose COA because I wasn't sure that college or a four-year school was for me. Going to COA allowed me to just focus on my education and not so much the financial burden of school. COA has helped me figure out that I wanted to pursue a degree in physical therapy, and thanks to the DARE guarantee, this is possible.
I live in Dare County, and the DARE guarantee was offered to all Dare County students. It is an amazing opportunity if you want to go to school, but you're not sure what you want to do yet. For the past 2 years, I've been taking art classes. I've always tried to fit in at least one art class into my semester because I am very passionate about art.
If you take advantage of the DARE guarantee, COA offers great education with great professors who are really there to help put you on your way. I will be graduating with my associate's degree in applied science for free, and then I will be moving on to my four-year degree.
I love that COA is right here in my hometown where I don't have to worry about living on campus or any of that. And it gives me and everyone else who has a scholarship a great chance to figure out what they actually want to do and how transferring to a four-year school would be beneficial or not.
I really recommend that Dare County High School graduates consider COA as their choice. The DARE guarantee is a great way to get on your path.
COA and the DARE guarantee is leading me on to be a professional artist because it's giving me the classes and the curriculums I need to know that that's what I actually want to do.
The DARE Guarantee Scholarship is a designed educational pathway to give back to our community while also providing a high-quality education to each and every student we serve. I encourage you to take advantage of a free education by getting started today. Apply at www.albemarle.edu/DARE-guarantee. We can't wait for you to be a part of the COA family as we proudly put our community first.
Thank you. Dr. Bagwell? Tim, could you hand these out for me? Thank you.
Next slide, please. So we're so excited about the DARE guarantee, but I wanted to tell you about something we're doing on the state level. Next slide. We started working, you'll see Currituck's name up here. We started working with some folks over in Currituck on career and technical education. They wanted to expand some opportunities there. And one of the things that led to was having Board of Commissioners some staff members from the school, staff members from COA, Senator Hannig, Representative O'Neill, et cetera. We got to get down to business and look at what was happening in the school. And one of the things that our partners in Currituck told us was that the high school diploma was a hindrance the way that it's designed in North Carolina. It kept some students from career and technical. If you'll go to the next slide, I'm going to flip through these very, very quickly, but this is based on my future NC data, and I just gave you guys the handout. I'm sure you've seen it. You're familiar with the effort. I'm going to actually skip to a couple of slides here for sake of time. So next slide. Next slide. So proposed legislation. Let me tell you what's happening. College of the Albemarle is working with Senator Hannig and Currituck Schools, Currituck Board of Commissioners. The school board has passed resolutions. And we are going to take it up at the Board of Trustees meeting, but we have some draft legislation that's going through right now, and hopefully it'll pass. Superintendent Truitt is on board. Senators, House members are on board. We've got support from the governor's office. And this would be a pilot program for COA and any of the schools that we serve to allow us to do more with career and technical education. People get hung up with the math requirements in a lot of instances, and it keeps people from getting through to career and technical programs. So they're not able to take advantage of some of these dual enrollment opportunities that we see others taking advantage of. So it may not be right for DARE, but I would encourage you to think about some opportunities for your students. What we're doing is writing it for Currituck right now. Others can come on board, but if you are interested in that, we would love to talk more, Mr. Superintendent, if that's something of interest to you all. But we are looking at that and seeing if it can help people get started. I'm going to tell you that one of the worst things we've done in education over the last 40 years is tell everybody they have to have a bachelor's degree to be worthwhile and to be successful. We are paying people with 1-year certificates or diplomas in welding more than we're paying PhD qualified political scientists, et cetera, at the colleges today because you can't find them. It is a supply and demand issue. So we need people on the Outer Banks. We need people across our 7-county service area, and we need people to connect with careers as readily as they are able to do so. And we would look forward to doing anything we can do to be better partners for Dare County, for the students in Dare County. And we're going to be as open and honest as we can with you. And we're going to try to open as many pathways as possible for your students. Let us know what we can do to help you, and we'll try our best to make it happen. I don't think I had another slide, but let's see if I did. No, next slide. Other information, and this is what happens when you edit when you're watching the Super Bowl. I don't have more numbers in my cell phone number than that. That should be 8553. I don't know where the 4 came from. I think it was a pass interference call I didn't agree with or something. So questions for me and Dean Sweeney?
Board members' comments, questions?
I think it's such a wonderful thing that you're doing. Very pleased.
Thank you.
I like the free part, Dr.
Free is
Bagwell.
nice.
Free is great.
Free is, if it's free, it's for me, was what I was always saying in college. So it's a great opportunity. And we'd love to be able to go back. I'll find my commissioner back here. And we've said to the Board of Commissioners that we want nothing more than to go back and say we don't have enough money for the DARE students. We want to run out of money for that DARE guarantee. And there's no reason why we shouldn't. If you look at that, My Future NC data and some of the goals, you guys are doing great on a number of those measures. But there's still a declining interest in college. There's a declining enrollment in FAFSA or completion of FAFSA. There are smaller numbers of people going to community colleges and 4-year institutions. So no matter what your pathway is, DARE Guarantee is an opportunity to get there.
Is there a possibility that, I'd like to see that slide on the proposed legislation? 'Cause
Sure.
I forgot my glasses. So is there any way I can get a hold of that? and
Yeah,
look at
yeah,
that?
we sent it. You guys have a
You have it?
copy of this with the videos and everything.
Okay.
And if you could distribute that and let us know what questions you might
Thank you.
have.
And being a 24-year nail tech, I'm probably going to push for cosmetology.
We have cosmetology on
'Cause
the
how-
main campus.
I know you have it on the main campus, But now that you have this big, beautiful building here in Manteo, and we do live at the beach, and there's a lot of people that want pedicures.
I
Just saying.
understand.
I turn
I've
people away
heard.
all the
I
time.
understand. Well,
Thank you.
one of the challenges that we realistically face is that we are not large enough that we can duplicate. No college really is large enough to duplicate every program, every place. If we tried to duplicate machining that we have in Currituck, one of those pieces of equipment take our whole state budget every year. It could be $500,000 for one piece of equipment. So we can't do that everywhere, but we can partner and use space at the schools and program that. And I think that's why these partnerships are so invaluable.
Oh, I already have ideas for how you can do
You already have had.
because there's two
sure.
separate things. There's hands-on and there's classrooms. So we can make this work.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you very much.
You're
Appreciate your time.
welcome. Glad to be here. Thank you very much for the time.
Dr. Bagwell, Dean Sweeney, thank you so much.
We are thrilled to be such a huge portion of your population as well. And we are strong supporters of you. So the board knows we started our superintendent advisory meetings today, and we're holding all of those this week, Monday through Friday at COA. We had our certified staff there today. Tomorrow we'll have our building and district administrators. Wednesday we'll have our classified staff. Thursday we'll have our students there. And Friday we'll have our parents there. We're meeting in the downstairs of the new building, and we're thrilled to have the opportunity to be on your campus and show it off. So thank you very much.
Superintendent, if I could also add to the CTE folks back here. We had over 100 high school students that went through the CTE program. Barnhill Construction Company did a wonderful presentation along with what we just seen there. And at the end of April, we'll have all the 8th graders, middle school students. You can see the same thing you saw tonight, and also the new juniors and seniors that are coming up. So we're thrilled to have that many students. But thank you for that. Thank you to your team.
Absolutely. Thank you. It's a good team.
Yeah, that's great.
Next item under reports will be the junior ROTC program overview. Thank you. This will be Lieutenant Colonel Warner White.
Mr. Bass-Knight, I am happy to do item E because it's very brief while we're waiting. Are you okay with that?
Yes, sir.
This is just a quick announcement while we're waiting for him to come up. Just wanted to let the board know the secondary schools program of studies. The courses students take from grades 9 through 12 is about to be published for next school year. We've worked with our principals and district administrators to put that together, and that will be coming out soon. So that's just an announcement for your information.
Colonel, can you hear us? Okay.
Okay. I don't know if y'all can hear me because it seems like a one-way thing. Just give me a thumbs up or something. Let me know. Okay. So Air Force Junior ROTC has been for quite some time. Actually, myself, I actually visited the school, First Flight High School there in Dare County, and looked at y'all for, hey, that's not a very good term there, y'all, but nevertheless, I'm a country boy, so I'll use that as an excuse. To put a high school, to put a junior RTC unit at your school. Since then, y'all have reached out to us, headquarters, and I know that I had basically said that you need to go through the presentation to review a lot of that stuff because time is very valuable. And I'm just open for any questions that you might have about junior ROTC. Since I was there, there's been a lot of new programs we've added. Some of those are Flight Academy has now grown to over 350 students. And this year, our J100 scholarship, which didn't exist when I was there before, is where we present a scholarship that is a 100% free ride to include books, tuition, room, and board for any student that chooses to go to ROTC and qualifies whatever university that is. And a good news story I'd like to share is last year during this program, we had a student turn down the Air Force Academy because they went to Harvard on our scholarship versus going to the Air Force Academy. So yes, we have a student in Harvard now from junior ROTC. So they went straight from junior ROTC to Harvard. I'm ready for any questions that y'all might have that if you've reviewed all the information on the slides.
So we can chat questions to him. So if you ask Holly, he'll put it in and he'll answer the question if you have anything.
Okay, I can expound on that. This past year, we invested, I think it was somewhere in the neighborhood of $3.5 million. And what we're looking to do is when a student leaves high school, we want them to have hard skills even out of junior ROTC. So we have partnered with a company out of Idaho, I believe is the location. And we basically put in all the junior ROTC programs a classroom package of nothing but UAS. We call them unmanned aerial systems or drones, quadcopters. They have multiple names. And this program will take the students literally from never have flown to precision flying to racing to include competitions in the future. The competitions don't exist today, but they're working on building competitions where the students will be able to compete around the United States and even the world, because we have junior ROTC around the world. And last but not least, when they graduate, they would have their Part 107, which is an FAA requirement to be a licensed UAS, unmanned aerial systems pilot.
Can you ask him, in the past that we looked into this, there were financial requirements and space requirements within the school, like classrooms dedicated to ROTC. Is that still the case? Or like, what do they need from us to be able to come into the into our schools?
And how many students do they need to make the program viable? If you could add that.
Yes, absolutely. The financial in the space, there's a couple of things we're doing that has enhanced our program. And once again, no one wants to air their dirty laundry, but even junior ROTC faces some of the same challenges you do. I know that instructors or teachers are at a premium nowadays. Not all schools out there can fill all the positions they have or the need for students. So in junior ROTC, we've come up with some new advancements with congressional law. Of course, I say advancements, but it's new to us with congressional law. So we're going to be able to hire instructors that are not retired, and it's going to come with a pay scale, which will also basically mean in the past we would always tell you that guesstimate of $60,000 to $65,000 per year just for instructor salaries. And that's half of 2 instructors. The federal law requires you have 1 officer and 1 enlisted. And that's so that the students get both perspectives, because in junior ROTC or the military as a whole, once again, we're not a construct. So no one who joins junior ROTC would ever have to do not even 1 day of military service. But we also want to make sure that we give the students the both perspectives. One is that you go to college and you become an officer and you go down that route, or you become enlisted and you go down just the technical training side, whether you're an aircraft jet engine mechanic or what have you. The financial piece is still there, and so is the space piece, because we now, because of the new law that was written, Title 10 law, The space requirements is not negotiable. We have to have 400 square foot of storage that has to be climatically controlled for the storage of the uniform, and it's for the safeguard of the Air Force property. That's the main reason that exists. Schools would be required for your enrollment to be 10% or 100, whichever's less, and the size of your school, you'd be at 10% minimum enrollment for the program. Student enrollment, anyone that you will let through your doors will let be in junior ROTC. We do know that there is a line in congressional law that states they must be U.S. citizens. But once again, from a headquarters perspective, would never tell you how to run your school, how to do anything in your school other than the junior ROTC program that we provide and put in your school. So if you'll let them through the door, we'll let them in junior ROTC. I know that that's sometimes a point of contention in some other locations. But once again, we highly encourage it. We encourage homeschoolers. We encourage kids with special needs, as long as they want to be a part. They still have to wear the uniform and participate in the class. But like I said, if you let them in your high school, we'll let them in junior ROTC, because we'd love to have a program in every high school in America. There's just not enough resources, money, and things to go around that way.
So just to be clear, we would be responsible for employing 2 people per school if we were going to do this, plus 400 square feet of storage. I just want to clarify that. Like, I want the basics. Like,
That is a true statement. Dare County, specifically because of the size of your schools, when we look at, and if I remember correctly from when I was there, there's Manteo, there's Cape Hatteras, and then there's First Flight. Those are the 3 high schools you have in Dare County School District. Because of the size of the schools, it would have to, because of success, because we want this to be a long-term relationship with Dare County School Boards. We want this thing to be successful. We want it to blossom, and we want to provide not only maybe an additional career path or additional citizenship, just citizenship in a whole. From the size of the schools, it would probably need to be at First Flight Academy or First Flight High School. I'm sorry. And yes, the 300 square foot and the employment of two instructors is that's per Title 10 law to host a program. The 400 square foot storage is based on the standard enrollment. So yes, there would be that. And then of course the classroom space. Classroom space is what you would give any other teacher. As I'm reading the question, also understand that headquarters was going to pick up half of the instructor's salary. So whatever the instructor comes out to be, headquarters pick up half, the school's responsible for the other half, and you are required 2 people. And the headquarters pays in the rear, so you would basically pay the instructor's salary, then we would reimburse you for what you paid the instructor, or half of what you paid the instructor. Hope that helped.
And if I understood this correctly, this would just be for First Flight High School? Based on size, what he said was...
The instructors will have they will be given pamphlets as far as the participation. We leave that up to the instructors. Once again, when we say we won't tell a school how to do things, we provide the instructors tools and resources so that they can go out and encourage students to participate in junior ROTC. We have some generic stuff, but we also look at them networking. So I believe there's a junior ROTC unit up in Elizabeth City, just northwest of y'all. Yeah, it would be northwest of you. But we want them to encourage them to kind of information share and not one size fits all. So, we look at things and say from a headquarters perspective, You know, I don't live in the Outer Banks. And when we start talking about that part of North Carolina, is that the culture that exists in the Outer Banks may not be the same culture that exists in New Orleans. So we want the instructors to be able to tailor whatever they have as far as participation and encouraging cadets. And we highly encourage them. They're required to take what we call a cadet in action, a CIA trip. So they have to take a trip once a year if you're and I don't remember if you're a 4x4 or a traditional schedule. If you're a 4x4, they'll be required to take 2 trips a year, and headquarters provides funding for that. And if you're traditional, it's 1 trip a year, but it has to tie back to the curriculum that the instructors are teaching. So we're not just a classroom. We are truly a program that exists in and outside of the classroom. We want the cadets to be able to, you know, if they do something in flight or something to that nature, then maybe they go, you know, hook up with the closest Civil Air Patrol unit, and we have an agreement with those guys where the students can take an incentive flight. So in other words, the Civil Air Patrol will take them up in the air and fly the cadets around, the cadets that have never flown before. We have those kind of things for cadets in action. Or if they're teaching government, maybe they'll take them over to Raleigh to the state capitol and do a tour of the state capitol when they're teaching, you know, some of the stuff that goes along with, you know, everybody has a boss in the military, we always say, you know, and even in the military, everybody has a boss. And when you finally get to the top, the boss is the president, but there's always that whole piece of the government interactions that we try to explain to the cadets as well, so that, you know, even a trip to the Capitol building would qualify as cadets in action. So we also leave that 100% open to the instructor, because the instructor will pick the curriculum, and we have enough curriculum so they will not repeat curriculum in 7 years in our program, because we actually make them fill out a what's called a curriculum, 7-year curriculum plan, to prove that they aren't teaching the same thing over and over and over and over. So no cadet will ever repeat curriculum. That's actually our policy here at headquarters. And like I said, we have some generic stuff, but we want to make sure that, you know, if the instructor there, if a unit's placed there in Kitty Hawk and the high school there, then they could partner up with Elizabeth City. That's more what we would say maybe a closer tie or a closer culture than it would be if I give them somebody from Nevada or something like that. So that's as far as the encouraging participation. We want them to do things creative and unique to their local area, because once again, you know, that was the coolest thing I ever seen, was standing in the library and looking out and seeing the Wright Brothers Memorial. And I'm just in awe at the high school there. So, you know, I would have loved to have gone to that high school. I went somewhere else, but it's a great location. All right. Thank you very much.
One more. It's okay. One more report. And I'm saying this last, but definitely not least. Dr. Castillo, if you would, you've got quite a bit of your staff here, and I would really appreciate if you'd introduce them. You can.
I'm not sure how to turn it on.
I think it's on now.
Okay. In December, we had a very special competition between our 3 high schools and their Adobe students to create a poster to display during board meetings. While all of the submissions were amazing, and you could tell the effort that was put into it, the central office team voted, And our winner is 10th grader Jordan Stokes from Miss Hester's class at Manteo High School. Jordan, if you'll please come forward. And you notice he did put Manteo at the top. Yes, if y'all will stand up. Thank you. You'll get the presentation up. I first want to thank you all for allowing me this opportunity to give an overview of our CTE program for Dare County Schools during the month of February, which is actually recognized as CTE Appreciation Month. I'd like to also acknowledge our fantastic CTE staff, and some have come out tonight. If they'll please come forward. We have Tara Wheeler, who is at Manteo High School. We have Suzanne Jeanette, who's at Cape Hatteras Secondary. We have Duke Wallen, who is at First Flight High School. And we have Cami Romano, who is also at First Flight High School and Manteo High School. Thank you for all you do. Whether students plan to further their education in four-year universities, community or tech schools, receive on-the-job training, or pursue a career in the military, CTE's goal is to equip students with expertise and experiences that at graduation, they are pursuing at least one of the 3 E's: enlisting, employment, or enrollment. What I'm about to share with you is what our CTE program is, that it has evolved from vocational tech. It may be a lot, but our CTE program is so comprehensive, I felt it was important to share. If you can please get the presentations. First of all, I'd like to draw you to our numbers. We have just under 3,000 participants in Dare County in grades 6 through 12 that are in a CTE class. Now, some students are taking more than one class, and this number reflects that. As you can see, our course enrollment continues to increase each year. Middle school CTE is all about career exploration, beginning to build self-awareness and learn about potential careers and their own personal strengths. CTE courses begin in middle school. We have classes at all 3 locations. Students are able to participate in such enriching activities such as STEM, coding, and even earning what may be their very first industry-recognized credential. In all 3 of our high schools, we offer construction and carpentry, or what used to be called shop class. Our students are using power tools, hand tools, they're interpreting blueprints, building sheds from the ground up, learning flooring systems, roofing, joists, and siding. Not only that, but small projects too, like picnic tables. The classes can then sell these items, and the money goes right back into their program. On top of that, and all the student experiences, they're also earning credentials that are nationally recognized, such as OSHA. Moving into arts, AV tech, and communications, we have the Adobe Academy. Students are designing digital graphics, creating marketing materials, designing magazine covers, video projects, and banners. Tonight, we experienced Jordan's product that is a direct result of Adobe Academy and what can be created. When students take these courses, they're able to take exams to earn Adobe credentials that are nationally recognized. We offer business management and administration pathways, where students are taking marketing and entrepreneurship courses. Students are using knowledge of target markets to create a product and doing almost like a Shark Tank to promote their product using market analysis. Students are creating business plans and building product portfolios and are able to earn certifications. The next pathway highlighted includes a wide range of courses under hospitality, tourism, and human services. This includes our hospitality and tourism course, sports and event marketing, culinary arts, food and nutrition, child development, and early childhood education. You may see some familiar certifications that students earn, just like CPR first aid and ServeSafe, that you could walk into any restaurant and see those framed. We're also able to provide students the opportunity to earn Certified Guest Service Professional credential through the American Hotel and Lodging Institute and the North Carolina Early Childhood credential. What's amazing is that we have students who have part-time jobs after school, and it's great to hear that when a student is working in a restaurant and they earn their ServeSafe, they can actually get a raise. So they're seeing firsthand the value that these credentials are, all free of charge. Moving into information technology, we have courses such as Python programming and AP computer science. Students are designing, writing, and running programs in Python language. They are understanding programming and coding languages. On top of that, they have the opportunity to earn a credential as a certified associate in Python programming. Next, we have health science. We currently offer from Foundations of Health Science to Health Science 2, and you can see the certification students can earn. Students interested in pursuing a career in the healthcare field have the opportunity to learn anatomy and physiology, medical terminology, clinical safety and skills, learning through live demonstrations, medical mysteries, and creating body maps. What's pretty amazing is at the end of the course, students rotate through live simulations, assuming the role of healthcare professional or patient, and students must demonstrate a variety of skills from questions to assess injury to physically caring for a patient. The last course I'll mention this evening is the newest edition that will begin at First Flight High School in the fall. We've mentioned this course previously, but to touch on it a bit further, students in this course will build this actual plane shown here on the screen, an RV-12, an FAA certified aircraft in this honors level course. At the end of the 2-year build, students will have learned manufacturing configuration, FAA compliance procedures, following blueprints, inspection basics, safety, ground operations and servicing, aircraft structures and materials, and mathematics and physics in aviation. Tango Flight is sponsored by Airbus, Garmin, and so many more that the doors that will open for students are vast. Students will be able to have the opportunity to earn aerospace and aviation industry-based certifications, which includes technical skills, professional workplace skills, maintenance, and construction skills. And to proudly say that 120 years later, our own Dare County students are able to have this opportunity to build this plane on the actual grounds that birthed aviation is amazing. While I've mentioned certifications and credentials while sharing about our courses, I'd like to draw your attention to the numbers. Currently, our students have earned over 1,000 industry-recognized credentials during this first semester alone. And these are not junior level. This is incredible. This ranges from students that are certified guest service professionals to students that are Drone Trust certified to Adobe certified and all points in between. Last year, we were over 2,000, so we're well on our way to making that number again, if not more. I would be remiss if I didn't mention our new initiative that our CTE department has joined with the Outer Banks Visitors Bureau and Director Lee Nettles to create the Careers Beyond the Counter. It's designed to expose our students to the tourism industry beyond what is typically seen. There are so many opportunities for students that's beyond the typical tourism industry, and we're engaging in speakers bureaus and offering internships in the hospitality and tourism industry, but in different pathways, as what you see listed. Speaking of internships, we have about 115 students this year completing internships all across Dare County. There are specific requirements for a student to fulfill while being able to have real-world, hands-on experiences in a career they would like to pursue. There is a minimum amount of hours students are required to perform to receive credit for the course. The benefit to being able to offer internships is that while we can't offer every course that exists, a student can certainly do an internship in a true workplace, even if we don't offer it. An example includes automotive. We don't have an automotive program. However, if a student is interested in pursuing that, they can be in the workplace hands-on learning, all aspects of it. Even our own transportation department for Dare County Schools is open to having an intern interested in diesel mechanics. We are supporting each other. Here are just some photos of students on the job, getting involved in the workplace, learning all about a career they want to pursue. We ask kids as young as preschool, what do you want to be when you grow up? CTE gives our own students real-world, hands-on experiences into what they want to do when they grow up, no matter what path it will take for them to get there. It may be straight out of high school, it may be 2-year, 4-year, 8-year, college, university, or it may be military. I mentioned at the beginning, we have evolved from vocational tech. This is CTE, and this is for all of our students. It's amazing to see what our students are able to experience. I highly encourage each of you to come visit any of our CTE classes any day of the week. Thank you for your time, and at this point, I'm open for any questions you may have.
I'm excited. I want to come back to high school. All the opportunities that we have here with Dare County Schools, free COA. Thank you, commissioners. What great opportunities we have for all of our students here in Dare County. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Super program.
And as good as we are, we're going to get better. I think, I hope.
The next time someone asks you if we're teaching carpentry in schools anymore, please tell them we teach so much more than that. I am thrilled. Thank you so much. That was fantastic. I particularly like the connection between what we're doing in schools and the jobs that are needed on the Outer Banks. It's not like we're just coming up with random things to do. There are connections to where we are and what our needs are, and we're going out of the way. We were just having the conversation about the diesel mechanics through the bus garage, if they had any openings for that, and we're tailoring the needs of our students to what we're able to offer them through the internships. I would love it if y'all would come back up so Hannah can get a picture of y'all. That would be wonderful.
And what subjects do the faculty teach?
So our folks here, Suzanne, Tara, and Duke are all career development coordinators at each of the 3 high schools. And Cami Romano is our internship coordinator at First Flight and Manteo.
Great team.
Sure. Gonna cost you extra.
Shift.
Thank you.
Yeah, bravo.
And we'll now move to the next item on the agenda, which is approval of the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move we approve the consent agenda.
I'll second. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I call for a vote. All in favor of the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is unfinished business. I'll turn the meeting back over to Ms. Hitch.
Thank you so much. These are policies that are on for second reading, so you all have looked at those. The only comment that I will make, of course, I'll answer any questions. Many of them are technology-based policies, which are kind of ever-changing for us in this world that is so technology-based. The one thing that I would say is if you look at policy 7241, there are 2 versions of that for you all to choose from. One is Draft A and Draft B. Draft A is a policy that leaves the door open on some of the bus drivers, and policy B closes that door if there's some history there that we need to follow up on. So we recommend policy A because you can hire anyone you want. You can vet them through interviews and things like that, but bus drivers are difficult to get now. So we want to make sure that you have every open avenue to get them.
Is there a motion to adopt the proposed policy manual updates with option A being the select policy for policy 7241?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. Well, yeah, second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next, we'll move on to new business. I'll turn the meeting back over to Ms. Hitch.
Thank you. These are new policies that we're bringing to you. There's several of them. Many of them are policies that required some kind of clarification or tweaking based on the board's decision to allow homeschool participation in athletics at the high school level for dually enrolled students. This is first reading, so you don't actually have to take any action, and they'll be before you again on second reading and a vote next month.
Can you give us like an example of what might have changed just for people at home that, like, for example, the school assignment?
Sure. So we would have made this change anyway, but it makes sense, especially in light of the board's decision. So on school assignment, we built in a provision that would allow you all to assign, the superintendent to assign when space requires a student to be assigned somewhere than what would be their base school. So in looking at it for the homeschool piece, as far as the athletic participation, we recognize that you hadn't built it that discretion, and we want you all to have that discretion because when the buildings get overcrowded, sometimes you have to assign students, based on that overcrowding.
Any other questions? Thank you, Ms. Hitch. The next item on the agenda is an understanding for the use of Kitty Hawk Elementary School baseball fields. I'll turn the meeting over to Mr. Blackstock.
Can I ask one more quick question?
Yes.
Does not passing any of these policies affect anything as far as the kids that have tried out or?
No, ma'am. This was just really for clarification. We wanted to make sure that we always want to make sure there's consistency as we walk through your policies. So because you hadn't allowed that previously, when we go through some of these policies, for example, like school assignment, one of the things that your homeschool athletics participation requirement said is that they could play at their assigned school. So we wanted to make sure that the school assignment policy was tweaked to reflect that that would be part of it as well. So it really was just tweaks. Nothing changes as far as the homeschool athletic participation. And we specifically presented the two policies that we previously did because we knew that just those two policies would lock down that option for homeschool students.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate you clarifying that.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Blackstock?
Thank you, Chairman Payne. This memorandum of agreement that I'm trying to scroll through. I was hoping Rachel was going to talk longer because I lost track.
No one wants to hear the lawyer.
Here we go. Sorry. Memorandum of understanding. This is actually a agreement put together by the county and the district to sort of codify who takes care of what when it comes to the fields at Kitty Hawk Elementary School. Essentially the short version is that the county does all the maintenance inside the fence. But also in addition to that, the bleacher area, the area where people tend to be for the games, and the district takes care of everything outside the fence. And this memorandum doesn't really change how we've done this. We just thought it was a good idea to have it written down. So as the county changes or if the district changes principles, folks just know what to expect when it comes to maintaining the field. So we're just asking for board approval of that MOU so that we can submit it back to the county.
Do I hear a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding between the County of Dare, the Dare County Board of Education, and Outer Banks Babe Ruth? Nope, excuse me. Is that the right one, Mr. Blackstock? No, I'm sorry. I'm ahead of myself.
Well, right.
You're on.
No, that's the one. I mean, that's the one. So it's with Dare County Schools, Dare County, and the Babe Ruth baseball.
Okay, I wasn't sure Babe Ruth was in on this.
Right. Well, the only thing that basically it says is when they use the facility, they have to clean up, they have to clean up behind
Okay.
themselves as their part of it.
Okay, thank you. Do I hear a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding between the County of Dare, Dare County Board of Education, and the Outer Banks Babe Ruth Baseball for the use of Kitty Hawk Elementary School baseball fields?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? I'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Final item under new business this evening, Mr. Ian Adams will be presenting the lease agreement for facilities use this summer.
Good evening, Chairman and Board. I'm going to start off as the Director of Facility and the end user of CTE people and COA. I got pretty excited about that too. I would love to have more trade guys ready to rock and roll right out of high school or shortly thereafter.
You can get an internship with them.
We're working on that. There's strange limitations on when it comes to electrical and different things like that. But we're working on some of the other certifications I can use for them. All right, so the approval to sign lease agreement for facilities use. The Tidewater Summer League, known as the Outer Banks Daredevil, has requested to use Manteo High School Stadium this year from the dates of approximately June 1st to July 31st, pending they make playoffs or go any further. This agreement is prepared by the attorney. We just revved what we had before when they were at Manteo before. And with that, we recommend that the superintendent recommends the board give permission to the superintendent to sign the lease agreement and substantially the form presented with revisions acceptable to the superintendent and the Board of Education attorney. The owner of the team has indicated intention to establish a legal entity to sign the lease agreement, and the superintendent's signature will be contingent on satisfactory verification of an appropriate legal entity. Signatures by legal entity and the owner personally, and corresponding revisions to the proposed lease agreement. So I'll say what's left of it, there might be a date change and name change on the lease, and everything else is going to remain the same for the most part.
Do I hear a motion to give the superintendent permission to sign the lease agreement in substantiality, the form presented with revisions acceptable to the superintendent and board attorney as requested?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? I'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you, Board.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we back up 1 minute? Do we have to have a second reading of the policy updates?
The board has the authority under your own policy to waive the first reading and adopt, or waive the second reading and adopt the policy on first reading. If someone wanted to do that, you first would have a motion to waive second reading and adopt it on first. And if that passes, then you would have a motion to approve on the first reading.
I move that we waive the second reading and whatever else you said. It just seems like that was, might as well have it in there.
So, Mr. Chairman, I think what you have is a motion to waive the second reading of the policies, waive the policy that requires a second reading. And then you would have, then what you would, if that passes, you would ask for a motion, or you would entertain a motion to go ahead and approve the policies. So it's a waiver of one policy to allow you to do it with one reading, and then it would be a motion on whether or not they want to adopt the policies.
So waive the second reading. Okay, do I have a motion to waive the second reading?
I'll second that.
I make that motion.
I'll second that.
All right. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion passes.
Okay, now you need a motion to approve the policies.
Do I have a motion to approve the policy?
Motion we approve the policies as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion passes.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you.
Thank
Yes, thank you.
Any comments from the board members?
You know I can't keep my mouth shut. But today is a very special day.
Happy anniversary.
I've been married to my husband for 24 years, and if you knew my husband, you would know just how special that is. The whole town of Hatteras thanks me. Am I wrong, Suzanne? He is such a wonderful man, and I'm so blessed to have him in my life. And I just want to, I'm spending it with you. But I'm going to hold him to something. He's going to have to pay up at the end of the week.
And Valentine's Day is tomorrow too, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Any other comments from board?
No,
I'd like to thank everybody for this evening. What a great night. I'd like to request a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We are now adjourned. Thank you.